The Suitcase of a Diplomat, Reflections on the 84th Anniversary of the Battle of Yenangyaung. There are moments in history that are written in books, and there are moments that live on quietly in distant lands, in the memories of people who were never meant to remember them. For me, the story of the Battle of Yenangyaung belongs to both. In 1942, on the burning oil fields of central Myanmar, amid chaos, retreat, and uncertainty, a remarkable chapter of World War II unfolded. The Allied forces were under immense pressure. British troops, cut off, surrounded, and running out of supplies, faced what seems to be an inevitable collapse. And yet, from across treacherous terrain, a force advanced with urgency and resolve. They were the R.O.C. Expeditionary Force. Against overwhelming odds, these soldiers fought their way through enemy lines, not for territory, not for glory, but for something far more profound, to rescue others. In the end, more than 7,000 British troops were successfully saved from encirclement. Among them were also a handful of American journalists who had been trapped in the same perilous situation, witnessing history as it unfolded around them. This was not merely a tactical victory. It was an act of courage, solidarity, and shared humanity in the darkest hour of war. The Battle of Yenangyaung reminds us that alliances are not abstract concepts. They are tested in moments of life and death. Different nations, different languages, different histories, yet bound together by a single purpose: to stand, to act, to save. 80 years later, I found myself standing on the soil of Yangon, Myanmar, only 350 miles away from Yenangyaung. In 2022, on the 80th anniversary of this battle, I arranged and witnessed via live coverage by mobile phone a commemoration at the Yenangyaung Memorial. Due to security reasons in that area, which did not allow us to travel to participate in that commemoration, what I witnessed there was not what one might expect. There were no grand military parades, no ceremonial displays of power. Instead, there were monks from nearby temples and villagers who had quietly taken it upon themselves to care for the memorial over the years. Together, a simple chanting ceremony was held. The sound of prayers filled the air, not in celebration of victory, but in remembrance of sacrifice. In that moment, history felt profoundly alive, not because of what was written, but because of what was remembered. As a diplomat, I have spent decades in conference rooms, negotiation halls, and official settings where nations speak in measured words. But watching over there by live coverage among monks and villagers, I realized something deeper. Diplomacy is not only forged in agreements, it is built in shared memory, in mutual respect, goodwill, and in the quiet recognition of a history that connects us all. That memorial, standing quietly along the Irrawaddy River, is more than a structure of stone. It is a bridge between past and present, between nations, between people who may never meet, yet are forever linked by what happened there. Now, when people in Myanmar are celebrating Tingyan Festival and New Year, as we approach the 84th anniversary, I find myself returning to that experience in my thoughts. Time moves forward, generations change, memories fade, but the meaning of that moment must not. The rescue of over 7,000 lives was not just a military achievement. It was a statement that even in the chaos of war, humanity can prevail, that even in division, cooperation is possible, that even in the darkest times, there are those who choose to act not for themselves, but for others. For me, the 84th anniversary is not only about looking back. It is about asking, what do we carry forward? In the suitcase of a diplomat, there are documents, protocols, and responsibilities. But there are also stories like Yenangyaung, stories of courage, of trust, of shared destiny. And perhaps our duty today is not just to remember them, but to live by them. Because in the end, history does not belong to the past. It belongs to those who choose to carry it forward.